Welcome back to Prime Morning. My name is Emefa Kosia Adeti, and this is Let's Talk Relationship. Now, today we're talking about financial management in a relationship. Big question: should you discuss your financial status with your partner, be it boyfriend, husband, whoever that matters in your relationship? I'm going to be joined later on the show by Reverend Adelaide Heward-Mills, but now I'm joined by Inshirado. You know, he's got all the magic in finance, so I'm going to be talking to him what we should be doing. Should we even disclose it anyway? Hi, Inshi, how are you?
I'm all right, darling.
The rainmaker.
Yes.
So, big question today, Jay was asking earlier this morning is that, should you tell your partner how much you earn, first of all?
The answer to that question is yes.
Why?
You tell your best friend everything. This is the person you've
No,
decided you're going down the road of life together with, someone who will be there with you all the way to the end.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you, but we went on the street, and here's what some people said.
I wouldn't mind, but it would depend on the type of woman you are in a relationship with. You know, some women do not know how to manage accounts. They would rather be the one spending whilst you are saving. But I don't see anything wrong with having a joint account with your partner.
No, I won't do that. It's a no. It's not advisable. It has a lot of risks involved. Because of trust. Like, who knows what can happen, like in future or something like.
No, not really. Yeah, the issue is that with this current systems of mistrust, divorces here and there, I feel that when you have a joint account, and in the next moment there would be issues of, disagreements here and there. I feel that perhaps even if there will be any need for us to have any joint account, that will be an operational account, but definitely I will surely have to have my investment account separately from having it as a joint with my partner.
Well, it's got its pros and cons. You might have an account with your partner, and then what about when you break up? What happens to both of you? Are you going to share the money? How are you going to split it up? I mean, when you guys have a common goal of having a project to do, you can have an account where you people would contribute towards that goal. But then when you break up, what happens to both of you?
No, I wouldn't like to have a joint account with my partner because a lot of things can happen. He can decide to treat me bad. I can also decide to treat him bad, and then it will be a problem.
Even if it's a partner that you both have the goal of getting married together, why not? Why not? I mean, times when she might think you have money, which you don't, because of the fact that you've portrayed that you have money, and probably you don't have the money that what she's thinking you have. I mean, it's sometimes good that you tell her how much you earn, so that when you are broke, she can help you out, or when she's broke, you can also help her out. So we should.
Yes, I don't have problem with her knowing. When you have a partner and he doesn't know how much you earn, it may create problems for you. Either she may think that you are taking so much, and so she begins to put so much demands on you that she needs this, she needs that. But when she gets how much you earn, probably she can make realistic demands.
Yes, I don't mind. I mean, it's not a big deal for him to know how much I earn.
There's nothing wrong with that. If your wife, no problem. But your girlfriend, I don't think it is right your girlfriend gets to know how much you earn. What if she earns more than you do? She might call off the relationship because she might feel, after all, I earn more than he does.
Yeah, because you're supposed to know everything about each other. I want to just know how much you earn. It kind of.
I wish this man would see my face. What if she earns more than you? She might call off the relationship. Is he serious right now? Anyway, I don't want to take sides here.
Insecurity is a global pandemic.
So you were saying that what?
No, I think it's important that you disclose it. The reason is that if you're going to make a commitment of a lifetime to another person, you need all cards on the table. And the fact that somebody might earn more than the other doesn't mean that, they'll lord it over you.
Is it a requirement?
I wouldn't call it a requirement. It's not a one-size-fits-all, but it helps. It helps because in times when things are rough, and everybody will go through a bend in life, if you don't know how much your partner earns, and they don't know how much you earn, you would have expectations of responsibility, and it could create conflict, because when you expect them to be able to do A, B, and C, but at that time of their life, things are not going so well. They may have been laid off work. They're not earning as much as they do or used to, and you are of no knowledge.
Right.
You make assumptions, and in that assumptions, you will then start having resentment towards them and think, they're making money and they're hiding it from me. And that is how the cookie crumbles.
We'll come back to how the cookie will crumble again. But we are joined by Reverend Adelaide Heward-Mills. Hello, Mommy, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making time to talk to us. And so this topic has become very necessary because it's become quite a debate on most of our social media handles. We put out a question that, are you comfortable sharing your financial status with your partner? Now, we've got different opinion. We thought that we should come to you for counsel. Hello, so we're ready to hear from you.
Hey, good morning. It was interesting hearing from the various people on the street and the various opinions.
Okay.
My take on that, I would say, would have to come from the Bible, because I believe that that is what life is built on. And so listening to all of them, the conclusion I came to is, it's not a financial issue. It's a relationship issue, the quality of the relationship. So the quality of the relationship will therefore inform the type of financial relationship you will have.
Okay.
Whether you should disclose what you have when you are not married, I wouldn't subscribe to that, because somebody can be attracted to you just because of what you have.
Okay.
And life has different seasons, like Ishua said. So when you go through a lean season, then what happens? If you are building your whole thing on he's rich, she's rich, you know, I think that in relationships, you are not supposed to be naked like that. So you can have an idea of what you do, how much, not necessarily the figure, but what you do, the debts you have, and how you go about your money issues, but not necessarily the nitty-gritty, because at that point, the relationship hasn't advanced. But come to marriage, I think that it's not always good to have a joint account.
Okay.
Because when you look at Abigail in the Bible,
right,
she was a fool. The Bible said, I didn't say, the Bible said. So if you are married to a fool, and he's spending your money anyhow and throwing it down the drain, how do you then go and tell him everything you have? Everything will crumble, including his own life, because he may end up not feeding himself, and vice versa.
Okay. Now, Rev, so if I understand you, the quality of the relationship would inform your decisions on financial relationship, financial management. And so if let's take a model quality relationship or marriage, you've said that you do not subscribe to the idea of having a joint account. Even if the relationship is very quality, there's trust, everything is
literally a joint account. But I personally don't have a joint account, but I live like I have a joint account, because my husband does certain aspects of our marriage, like maybe he may do school fees, he may do utility bills, and I may do food and other things that come with it, depending on our earning power. And when I'm low, I can tell him, top me up, please. And when he is low, he can tell me, top me up. And we can give gifts to each other. But we don't have literally one account with our names. But I think we operate a joint account in our lives, in the way we live.
Okay, so you say that it's a matter of preference, and if you can manage the situation.
Yes, and how you run it. For instance, if you know your spouse has so many side chicks and is dishing out money to them, why would you put your life savings in his account? The Bible says a prudent man sees the evil that is ahead and keeps himself. So all fingers are not the same.
Okay.
All marriages are not the same. And all relationships are not the same.
Okay. Another question that I'd like to ask you is that if you have access to your partner's account, maybe because of any accidents, is there any way you can have a good and a model relationship? There's trust, there's everything. You're not operating joint accounts, but one way or the other, you have access to your partner's bank account.
And I think that if you show responsibility and discipline, it should happen, and it can happen, you know. So you earn trust. Trust is not just trust me. It's something you earn. It's something you work towards. So when there's trust, and if there's no trust, then there are trust issues that must be worked on, you know. And like the other person said, Ishira said, there's insecurity. So some men feel if a woman earns more, I can't marry her. But if a woman earns more, she may be your insurance. If she has that corporate mind that we are all in it together, then I'm here to help. But if she's not sure what you are spending your money on, then fear will come in. And she has to be prudent. The man also has to be prudent. If you are a spendthrift, everything you see you want as a woman is going to be a problem. So the couple must sit down and talk marital issues. But when they do that, like the Bible says, and we're not.
Okay, I have two final questions for you. One will be
so
that.
I may not have to know every single figure, investments, what.
I'm sorry, I hope that I didn't lose you.
No, I'm here.
Okay, so let's even cut to the chase. We can't operate joint accounts, even though you have quality relationships. It's a matter of preference. You need to be guided by what is in the Bible. That's if you're a Christian. But at least, can I share with my partner how much I earn, genuinely?
Yes, you can. And it still depends on extenuating circumstances.
Okay.
But if you are able to print, it will help trust.
Okay.
Yes.
I want you to clarify this. There's going to be persons who would have joint accounts, persons who would definitely have access to their partner's bank accounts or bank details. Now, if there's a problem, because then we're human beings, we're bound to make mistakes. If there's a problem, who should these partners go to? Is it a counselor? Is it a financial analyst? Or who? Who solves financial challenges in a marriage?
They should seek help from both a financial analyst and a counselor, because I'm sure that all those facets will come to play in the marriage.
Okay.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So trust issues, openness, and also talking about if we fall out, what happens. Some people do a prenup. I don't really subscribe to that because I think you're already going on doubt, but it depends on the two parties.
Okay.
You know, but you have to talk about it. I'm putting my money in, you're also putting your money in. If anything happens, what do we do? How will we go about it? And things like that. And I'm sure a financial analyst will be able to come in there, because all these specialists are important. It's not just go to a pastor. A pastor is a counselor, but you need other pastors to sharpen your skills. And also, must be able to delegate. If you are not a good manager of finances, but you are the man, and the Bible says you are the head, be a CEO who delegates to another so that the company can run well, and vice versa. Okay.
Thank you so much, Reverend. Thank you so much, and do have a great day, and the Lord bless you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Ishi.
Yes.
I mean, she's a reverend, so though I didn't want to be like, I don't agree on a few things. I'm going to come to you. We're cracking the cookie. We're cracking the cookie here.
No, I think Reverend Adelaide made quite a lot of poignant points. And like I was saying earlier, you know, it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. The concept of a joint account, in my opinion, doesn't have to be about all my salary and all my earnings go into this account.
Why not? Well, if you're going to have a joint account, well, like she said, depending on the quality of the relationship and there's trust. If you're going to have joint accounts, it's because in a very inconspicuous way, you want to know how much you're genuinely earning so that we can plan together.
Yeah, so you have the knowledge of how much is earned. And we set financial goals together.
Right.
And we dedicate a certain portion of our earnings that goes into one common pot that goes towards that. Now, when that is done, now you're in the office, you buy me lunch. I mean, would you have to call your partner to say, I want to buy my friend lunch at work? You know, so the little things that you will need to get by in life that can stay in an account that you have sole access to. That doesn't mean that you don't know how much your partner earns. That transparency must exist. But the joint account must be towards a specific financial goal. So we want to invest money. We want to put money into this account where we draw our rent, we draw our electricity, and we draw all of these things. So this is my contribution to the pot. That's all it is.
But which one is very difficult to do? Having the joint account or disclosing how much you earn to your partner?
Wow, I think disclosure is not as difficult as, and this is speaking from a purely
what have
personal.
you been doing?
Well, we operate separate accounts, but there's clear transparency. She knows how much I earn, so her expectations are clear. She knows where I'm going to need to stretch. She knows what I can manage, and we have a budget. We have specific things we spend money on, and outside of those, we have a conversation and say, oh, can we afford A, B, and C? And then we work around that. There are times that I am broke. I'm like, hey, can you float me a bit? And she does.
Okay. Well, we put out a question on social media. We were asking you that, are you comfortable, disclosing your account details to your partner? We've been telling your partner how much you earn. Just in case we have time, would get Jay to come and read the comments for us to see if we still have time, or maybe later when we have your say segment, Jay would have time to read the comments. Now, Reverend made a very valid point, however, very debatable. She mentioned that if you're in a relationship, I want to be very basic, boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, no need to be that naked, basically telling your partner everything about your finances because you really do not know what would happen. But I like to think and assume that we go into a relationship hoping that it ends into marriage. And so if the person does not come naked before the other partner, how will the person make an informative decision?
Well, see, you don't know everything about the company you work for, though you may research them, right?
You want to have the objective, you want to have the vision, mission, objective.
There you go. So at the dating stage, as someone likes to call it, is the collection of data stage of the relationship. So I'm getting to know the things you like. And those things become more value-based. So what kind of person are you? What are your aspirations for life? Is this person someone who likes to work hard? Do they think life is all about just sitting and having drinks with friends? Are they thinking about the future? Would they want to have a family? Would they want the children to have great education? Because all of those things then will feed into whether or not you will now dedicate the resources required to make sure you're funding those things.
Ishi, you can have somebody who's got all of these qualities, and that's great, but the person might be a spendthrift. How do you know? So maybe if you operate a joint account, if you break up, you can go to the bank and then do the changes, can't you?
Well, see, but that
so
creates
you can
a
monitor.
lot of problems.
Why?
I mean, so in let's just say,
if you break up with somebody, do you leave your clothes and stuff in the person's house? You move out.
Yeah, but there's emotional and issues, and it creates acrimony, and there's all kinds of things. And not all breakups are just as nice as, Charlie, the thing is not working, so let's move on.
I agree.
And so you want to be able to cut ties and something that will cost you minimal fuss. And I totally agree with her that if you're dating, that's not the time to start a joint account. You are not joined to start with.
Okay, but at least the person can tell how much they earn.
Yeah, I mean, have that conversation.
It's
because
important
people
to
must
ask
have
the
the
women.
right expectations. You know, if all you want is to go and eat at a 5-star hotel or a 5-star Michelin restaurant every weekend, and my salary can't afford that, you need to know that.
What if I can afford it? But I'm still in a relationship.
Then we'll go.
Would you be okay if I can afford it? You can't afford it.
I'll be a happy house husband.
You don't think you want to put me right and say that it's not right spending
No,
that
I mean,
much?
see, but we must correct each other. Everything has to be done in moderation. So if you're spending too much, I must say, look, we've got a future to build. And to build the future, you must put some money away.
I asked Reverend a very important question. Who advises a couple on finance? Who?
I think multiplicity of people. So there must be someone who understands finances, because some of the issues sometimes is not necessarily we have too little. Maybe we lack a certain synergy, or we can explore a synergy that can create more wealth for us.
Okay.
You may be a person who has great ideas, and I may be the doer.
Right.
But we have never explored that. You know, if maybe we did, we'll have enough money to be able to fund the lifestyle we want.
Maybe we did. Anyway, Jay's joined us. So Jay's been surfing the internet and sampling your views. So I'm going to go to Jay to ask him what he's got for us.
Well, I tell you what, people are saying a lot of different things on social media with
regards to this conversation, because it's very, very sensitive though. Would you want to show it to your partner? So what if you get a side money, you know, on some income that you are not expecting and it comes in? Would you even disclose that as well?
We didn't discuss that, so I won't disclose it.
Very really? Interesting. Yeah. Well, let's find out what people are saying on social media. You can also do the same right now on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, especially on Facebook. Go there on Joy Prime Official and share your comments with us right now. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, so in a minute, we're just about to find out what people are saying. So this one from Good Heart Barak says, everyone is giving fake answers here. Interesting. It says, they only know deep down their hearts and ... doesn't even continue. Leji or Ileji Osai says yes and no. Yes, because they will know how and when to demand for money or demand much. No, because some people will definitely ask for something since they know how much and how and when money comes in your account. Conclusion? It depends on how you study your partner initially. Great point on there. This one from Trixie says, ooh, I will miss this. When is the repeat? Okay. Anyway, you can catch it on social media. We're streaming live on YouTube as well. Ketty Patience says, no for me, and that means I don't love my wife, because lady's heart is something. I don't know how you want to make this, analyze and understand this one. Well, he's saying that understanding the wife, you rather stay away from. This one says, if my girlfriend or wife knows that I earn 100 Ghana cedis a month, she won't ask me to buy her an iPhone. And goes on to say iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Hold up. I'm not asking you to buy an iPhone for me with how much you earn.
Yes.
I'm telling you that to do extra of what you're doing and something that can buy me an iPhone. I'm not saying that buy an iPhone with your
But you would have expectations. You will not want it and want it now.
Well, he goes on to say, but when she knows I earn 1,000 plus a month, other bonuses, just imagine what her demands would be.
Maybe an Android.
Another one is coming in. Yao Preko says, definitely it depends. It doesn't depend on the people involved. Once you're married, it is a must or obligatory to be transparent in everything, he says.
Including finance.
Including finances. Great. A few more messages coming in here. Prince OG says, what a name, says, why should you know if my partner should know how much I earn? He's asking with emojis. Very angry face there. And Henry Joseph says, actually, it depends on the individual, but yes to me. And lastly, Lawrence Amwako is saying, yes, of course, your partner should know so that when the money gets finished, she will not complain.
Thank you.
Great valid point.
I think you're getting it all wrong. Okay, well, at least he said partner, and then he or she ended with the she. Who says that when the money is finished?
So it's easier for a person of one gender to refer to the opposite in there.
But this is a mistake. The fact that I know that the money is done in the account doesn't mean that I won't demand.
Yeah, but you see, you will have different expectations. If there is no money, you would allow a little bit of patience and a plan to meet that requirement and bridge that gap. If the money is there and you need it now because the resources are available. And these are all different things that change. Because, see, men don't complain. Men aren't vocal. Men aren't naturally vocal. A man would rather be there and think about, how am I going to make the money quickly so that we can solve this situation? In that period when he's thinking plenty, or probably sitting there watching the television, he's not watching anything on the TV. He's just using it as a distraction. But the question is, how do you end up tipping the person emotionally if you're constantly asking for something? And you're asking legitimately. But the reason you're asking is because you do not know that he doesn't have it. Now imagine what kind of situation that would create. So it's important to have the conversation so you manage your expectations.
Okay. Well, it's important to have a conversation with your partner, but I like to conclude by saying, oh, this is for you, let me see.
Okay.
That it's not a requirement in a marriage, right?
I agree.
If you say yes,
it's
or
not.
if you say yes,
It's not
okay.
a requirement.
And it also depends on the individual.
Yes.
And also, like Reverend said, depends on the quality of the relationship. And finally, a gentle reminder, if you're in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, no need to be that naked. It's not the point yet until you're
You are
joined.
not joined, so
You're
you can't have a joint account.
Okay. I hope that you've picked something from our conversation. Into your final words, and then we get ready for Survivor Story.
Well, I think for me, final words would be that everybody should focus on how to make the money. It is when you have little of it that it becomes a problem. So find ways to build constructive relationships, how you can leverage your talents and gifts and abilities to make money between the two of you or individually. When you have a lot of money, you won't complain plenty.
I agree.